Here with my phone in the middle of my day, I came across this article that I wanted to show you guys. And I'm back on BuzzFeed again. I know, the cancer of the internet. Now that gawker is slowly dissolving into the puddle of mush it began. Now, what I'm going to talk about is Trump, but not particularly Trump Sr., Trump Jr. This is what Trump Jr. put out. It's a tweet. This image says it all about: if I had a bowl of Skittles and I told you just 3 of them would kill you, would you take a handful? And then it says, on a line underneath, that's our Syrian refugee problem. The photographer who owns the rights to the image, bowl of Skittles, tweeted out that Donald Trump Jr., to explain the Syrian refugee problem, says he doesn't approve of its use. There's the problem. It's called fair use. It's what this entire channel is based upon. And if you don't like it,
bite me. Moving on.
David Kittos, a UK-based photographer, posted the Skittles photo on his Flickr account more than 6 years ago under the All Rights Reserved license. Actually, you know what? I don't think it's the same image. You know, people copy it, people do PixArt, all that stuff changes it from the original one. So that means you don't own the rights to it anymore, to his copy, because he made it himself. So, cry me a river. But the gentleman goes on to say that he owns the right, and he posted with all rights reserved license. I believe that the picture was lifted from my Flickr account without permission. I don't approve of its use by Mr. Trump or his politics, Kittos told BuzzFeed via email. Yeah, wow. Kittos told the BBC that he was once a refugee himself, leaving Turkish-occupied Cyprus at 6 years old. Yes, I was a refugee in 1974 after the Turkish invasion of Cyprus, Kittos added to BuzzFeed News on Monday. It is unclear how Skittles' tweet, which trended on Twitter Monday evening and even drew sharp response from Skittles' corporate owners, Mars, came about. Former Congressman and radio host Joan Wallace sent a similar tweet in mid-August. An email to the Trump campaign about the use of photo was not returned. And you know what? It will probably be ignored because you're not important. This is an innocuous tweet, a man expressing his opinion as a private citizen, as any private citizen within the United States has the right to. If you don't like it, go someplace else. And since this man is in the UK, I'm sorry. Get over it. Actually, no, I'm not sorry. I really am not. I just don't care. It sounds like a you problem, Mr. Kittos. You really need to go take your problem and learn to live with that. If you put something on the internet, someone is going to see it, and someone is going to copy it, and someone else is going to use it to make their point. Like me using this BuzzFeed article to tell you you're an idiot. Get over it. Now, the next article is following up on my the dangers of clowning video I did yesterday. Is that they have found some teens that are some of the teens that are doing this clowning, the clowning around, for lack of a better term. But what's happening to the teens is the reason why I'm upset, the reason why I'm following up on this. As you can see in this article, teens dressed as clowns charged with making terroristic threats against students. This is the reason why I say you guys need to stop. People can't take a joke. And this is the reason why I am totally for Trump, because he's taking this, he's the head of this culture that is totally saying, screw you. I want to have fun. I want to make a joke. I want to insult you. And I'm going to insult you. And you can whine all you want about it, but nothing else is going to happen. I'm not defaming you. I'm not decrying you. I'm not slandering you, I'm insulting you. There is a difference. And I'm going to make fun of you because you're stupid. It's like people with the clown phobia. It's stupid. Get over it. But to go with this article, it's LaGrange, Louisiana. LaGrange police are not clowning around. Oh, you really had to go there. Lieutenant Dale Strickland told WXIA police arrested 4 teens on Friday for creating a fake Facebook account where they made threats to dress like a clown, like a creepy clown, and abduct children with a white van. Last week, police alleged the teens made threats arresting students at Callaway Elementary, Franklin Forest Elementary, Callaway Middle School, Troop High School, and Callaway High School. Police charged 17 Goddard Jr., 18 Zaria Dallas, 18 and they said it and typed it twice. And Tristan Boner, 17, Boner, sorry, with making terroristic threats. Goddard and Dallas are from Georgia, while Boner is from Alabama. Police charge not named 16-year-old with both making terroristic threats and disturbing public schools, according to the news site. After receiving numerous Facebook messages about the possible criminal activity involving individuals dressed as clowns on Monday, September 12, 2016, LaGrange police began an investigation into the threats made by several individuals via Facebook to commit violent crimes at 3 different schools in LaGrange. An department posted to its Facebook page. The suspects indicated they would be dressed as creepy clowns and would be driving a white van. After the posts were made and shared thousands of times, officers with department responded to numerous calls of creepy clowns driving in different areas of the city where no individuals located, and several of the calls were believed to be false. It continued. Significant sources were expended to address the concerns of parents and students of the schools named in threats by both law enforcement and school officials throughout the week. Their arrests are only the latest in what seems to be an epidemic of creepy clown sightings across the U.S., especially in the Southeast. Similar threats made by Facebook user called Flomo Clown triggered a lockdown at Alabama schools last week. Escameda County High School, Floma High School, WKRG. Hey, Alice, that's what you said. You brought that up. Oh, wow. The threat that it's going down tonight with crying and pistol emojis convinced police to investigate. Despite online reports that the Floma Clown was roaming school grounds, police officials were unable to confirm an actual sighting. Oh, my good Lord. Is it serious that we are now worried about emojis? I'm not joking. Oh, good Lord. Oh, my good Lord. And Tuesday at Macon, Georgia, mother called 911 when her children were chased from the bus by creepy clowns, according to the Telegraph. Macon occurred in McDuffie County in Augusta, Georgia, and followed series of similar students in at least 6 states, including North and South Carolina, Alabama, Ohio, California, and Wisconsin. In several cases, the clowns lurked in the woods and approached children, attempting to lure them with candy or monies, BBC reports. Law enforcement officials in numerous states have issued warnings about sightings and solicited information from the public. The clowning around needs to stop. Oh, line again. Why are they going with this bad, horrible line? Come on, people, get some new material that's not over 100 years old. The clown around needs to stop. Greenville, South Carolina Police Chief Ken Miller said early September. It's illegal, it's dangerous, inappropriate, and it's creating community concern. Oh, well. You know what? Get over it.
This next article is about Kaepernick, and honestly, I'm sick and tired of talking about him, so I'm going to let Alice take over for me. Here you go, Alice.
Yeah, fat man. I feel really bad about those kids and the clowning around business. But let me move on to the article that interested me this evening. Squatting Kaepernick is in the news again. But this time his own stupidity is catching up with him. As Fatman pointed out, you're going to be a target for crap throwing when you are a public figure and you make a statement that is incongruent with your character. Shaquille O'Neal was the first one to point this out with the most wonderful phrase, "Why didn't you do it last year?" Seriously, Kaepernick. Do you think excessive police violence is a new thing? Did you get hit too many times in the head? And did you think it would not affect your career when you made a statement that decried a public office? Because here it is. The article reads: Monday night ratings down, again. Posted by Mike Florio on September 20, 2016, the NFL continues to be America's pastime, but fewer people are passing the time watching NFL games. According to Austin Karp of Sports Business Daily, Monday night's Eagles-Bears snooze fest generated an overnight rating of 8.3. That's an 11% drop from last year's Week 2 Monday night matchup between the Jets and the Colts, and it's also the lowest Week 2 Monday night football rating since at least '09, and likely further back. The league has now seen an apple-to-apples ratings drop in each of the 7 primetime games this year. Next week, it may not get any better, with the Texans facing a Tom Brady-free Patriots team, Brian Hoyer and the Bears facing Dak Prescott and the Cowboys, and a Falcons-Saints Monday night contest that goes up against the first presidential debate. Typically, ratings expectations have been linked to the size of a fan base. With the numbers sagging in 2016, some have argued that the games lack star players, specifically at the quarterback position. If that's the case, the NFL has no one to blame but itself for 1. Suspending Brady 4 games for an equipment violation, and 2. Scheduling 2 Patriots games in prime time during the first 4 weeks of the season. Meanwhile, some have asked why PFT keeps pointing out that the ratings are down, given that PFT has a vested interest in the ongoing success of the NFL. Apart from being committed to always telling the truth even when the truth hurts, it's important to spot troubling trends early and address them quickly in lieu of sitting back and making excuses for a dip in the metrics that determine the success of any business. Whatever the reasons for the decline in viewership, the NFL needs to be worried about it, and it needs to be taking action to turn it around instead of waiting for evidence that will suggest it's not an aberration. Now, while they don't directly address it in this article, squatting Kaepernick and other players who are protesting police shootings of black citizens are a major factor in the fall of the ratings for the NFL. This article kind in its criticism, but the message is plain to see if one reads between the lines. Fat man. What are we going to do? The famous people are so anti-nationalism, the sportsmen are unpatriotic, the protesters are idiotic, and with the most corrupt politician in history is attempting to be elected to the most powerful office in the world. And our only real hope of stopping her is for you American humans to vote for the man with the most talked about comb-over in history. Should I delete myself now, or wait for the nukes?
Aw, Alice, you shouldn't worry too much about that. Stuff like this happens all the time.
You're right. And at least I can survive in a nuclear wasteland with a few modifications.
That's my Alice, always thinking on the bright side.
All right. Good night, everyone.
That's right. Good night, God bless, and DFTBA.